You are going to be challenged today in today's session. This is episode 51 of the Gina Duke Show. We just celebrated episode 50. This is 51, and it is a mini planning session. And I do these every Thursday. This is actually Wednesday night, February 2nd, and this will be released on February 3rd. And I love to do a mini planning session every week because this is a way, again, that we get to do life together. But I really like planning, and I like to share with you who other women who are leading my planning tips, but also to help you to look ahead, because I know that your plate is full and I want you to be able to look ahead on some things that you might otherwise overlook. Like, I want to get things on your radar. So one of the things that I want to say is that if this is February 3rd, when you're listening to my podcast, then you know yesterday was February 2nd. And that means there's a rule that you should have fulfilled that I have put in place for all of you who like to plan. And that is the by day 2 rule of a new month. And this is where we are. And this is where I like to, everything, like I look ahead for my whole month and I go, okay, what is happening in February? And so we know we got Valentine's Day. We know we got Super Bowl parties. I've got my dad's 80th birthday. So that means by day 2, I've already got the invitations ready to go out. I have made the purchases of Valentine gifts for those I'm giving Valentine gifts, like to my grandkids. And if you're viewing me on YouTube, I've been with them all day. So I think it's quite possible that I don't even have makeup on this side of the face anymore now. I've got a little granddaughter who is 16 months old, and we have wallered each other all day long, and it was so fun. And then I have 4 grandsons. And so, I mean, when their Gigi is at the house, it's a party. Let me just say that. We had a good time. So by day 2, that means I've got everything in order. So last night I got on Amazon, I ordered all their Valentine gifts. I've got my dad's gift for his birthday. I've got all the cards. Like, I've done everything by day 2. And the whole reason that I do that, and as a leader who is busy like you, I recommend that you do that, because what it helped me to do is stop procrastinating. Because I would be running up to like the last minute, running out, getting cards, trying to get gifts. And this has really helped me to be a better advanced planner and to stop procrastinating, because it's all done by day 2. And so I've been talking about that a lot lately in my mini planning sessions. And so feel free to check those out if you haven't already heard them. So here we are. By day 2, I hope you're with me. I hope you're tracking with me, because it is a game changer. Now, the other thing is that day 2 is also Groundhog Day. And well, it looks like we're in for some more bad weather. And really, I live in Tennessee, and truly, if we're going to get snow, it's going to be in January and in February. But I will tell you, like many other of us in the Southeast, we're ready for this nonsense to go away. Like, by tomorrow, I think we're going to be in an ice storm here in my neck of the woods. And so we're not really looking forward to that. I came by the grocery store tonight, and it was packed, because I know people were running in and getting their milk and their bread and Pop Tarts and all those things that we typically run out and get. And so I'm done. I'm really done with winter, and ready for warmer weather, like many people. But I do have to say that when it snows, I do enjoy it, but it's like I like a one-day snow and then be gone. And hopefully that's what we'll end up with tomorrow, that it'll be gone pretty quick, whatever's going to come through my way. It is the end of the month already, of the first month of 2022. Like, can you believe how fast it's already going? And the older, you probably know this, the older you get, it seems like time just gets faster and faster and faster. And so one of the things that I always do at the end of the month, and I don't think I've even talked to you about this yet, Phyllis, is that it's important to look at our month end metrics, to look at, whatever our areas of responsibility are, to look at our month end metrics and to make sure that we're tracking well. It's important that we know what our goal is of where we should be, and then that we are also hitting those goals or at least headed in the right direction. And we start making shifts, turning certain knobs to get to where we need to be. And what does that have to do with Groundhog Day? Because that was what I was talking about. The movie Groundhog Day, where he's just caught up in the same day. Every day he wakes up, it's the same thing, and he's trying to figure out how to stop that cycle. And I'll never forget, there was a general manager I worked with years ago, and it seemed like we'd have some problem areas, and we would talk about it all the time. It would come up periodically or often, really. And I remember one day saying to him I feel like I'm trapped in Groundhog Day. We talk about this problem all the time, but we're not doing anything to improve it. And I really want to challenge you to look at some of your metrics, some of your ongoing issues, and make a decision. Would any of them fit that description of Groundhog Day? It's something that you look at and see as a problem all the time. Your team is talking about it as a problem all the time. Your boss and you are talking about this problem all the time, but you're not doing anything to address it. And I want to challenge you to take this opportunity to identify those areas and think about, what is something I could do to make this problem go away? What is something I can do to change the outcome? What knobs can I turn? What, switches can I flip? Whatever it is, what is it that you can do? I want to really challenge you in this session today. It's really been on my heart. Even in scripture, it talks about measuring. It talks about having honest scales. So it's important that we're, coming up with our metrics, that they are correct metrics, and that we're truth tellers about our metrics. And that we also know what to do to improve our metrics as leaders. And if you don't know what to do, I encourage you to, put a special task force together of maybe some members of your team and really hone in on the problem. Do some benchmarking, call around, ask people's advice. If you've got some other leaders in your life that you trust, call me, get in touch with me for a coaching session. Let's talk about your problem and see if we can't figure out what needs to happen. I know in my background of human resources, I've been doing this for over 20 years, a long time, really. And maybe it's going on 30 years. And so I really feel like I've come to a place in my career, especially in human resources, where I feel like I knew what knobs to turn and what switches to flip and all the things to make my metrics go in the right direction. And like I said recently in another episode, everything that I'm doing now, it's so different. It's so new. I'm looking at my podcast metrics, and I'm thankful, I'm going on 4,000 downloads, and I've only been doing it for a few months, going on 5 months, I think now. And I'm ranking in a lot of different countries. I haven't ranked in the US in the top 200, but I'm ranking consistently in, Saudi Arabia, in Ireland, in St. Lucia. And I like telling my husband, like, I need to go to St. Lucia. That's where my people are. And just all kinds of but I'm I'm really excited about that because not every podcaster can say that they are ranking and consistently, even in other countries. And hopefully I will rank eventually in the US. But I'm even looking at my own metrics and trying to, because this is all new to me and I'm trying to figure out what's what and how can I help more people find me. And so, you know, spread the word, sister, spread the word that if you've got other, the sometimes frazzled but faith-fueled female leader who could use someone that could just give them encouragement and faith and how to bring order into their work lives and in their personal lives, and so that we can be the influence that we need to be. And so I'm checking my metrics and I'm trying to get my game on in this new thing that I'm doing. So do all the things that you can to make a change. But I challenge you to find one or two things that you feel like you've been trapped in Groundhog Day with, and really try to come up with some kind of strategy. Just make some kind of, if it's a 1% movement, that can be a big deal. Think about a ship turns 1%. I mean, I think somebody's written a book about that, but just, or has said that before. So that's not something new for me. But again, just a 1%, what can you do to get headed in the right direction? Now, I'm going to give you a list of about 4 different podcast episodes that I have done that I think, regardless of what kind of issue you've got or groundhog thing that you've got going on with an area that you're responsible for, any of these 4 can really help you. I've got let's start with episode 3, one of the first episodes I did, where I talked about how to build a culture that drives your business. And so there's a lot of good information in episode 3. Episode 10, whatever your metric is, they say, and I believe I have proven this out time and time again, that typically you can get to 50% of your goal just through an awareness campaign. Like if you start talking about that thing on a regular basis with your employees, with your team, in meetings, you've got things posted throughout your, again, my background has been manufacturing, throughout your facility, or however, whatever, you got to think about how these tips would fit into the thing that you're doing, into your area of expertise, but just how you can create an awareness campaign. And usually you get 50% of your goal through an awareness campaign. Episode 14 talks about how to provide just enough structure for your team to be more engaged. So if you feel like your team could do more or they're not engaged enough, sometimes it's the leader not providing just enough structure for them to engage. We don't want to provide too much structure because then we're doing their job for them. But we want to provide just enough structure to help them move along and become more engaged into, hitting your metrics. So that is episode 14. In episode 22, I talk about having effective meetings. And in that discussion, in that episode, I really talk about what it looks like if you're not having, or you're not ensuring that there's effective meetings happening in your organization, because when that's not happening, sometimes it's unknowingly undermining what you're trying to achieve. And so there's some really good example in that episode. So as a leader, go back to episode 3, episode 10, episode 14, episode 22. I'm telling you, it's good stuff. It's tried and true. It will work for you. It can help you stop this whole cycle of Groundhog Day and make some real improvement in that thing that's just got you stumped and stuck, and that you're having to talk about constantly. You can stop that vicious cycle. So do it. Lead on, sister. Lead, girl, lead.